best dirty lemonade, dirty lemonade. The best dirty lemonade, dirty lemonade. Dirty said it was the best and put it in the name. The best dirty lemonade, dirty lemonade.
You're doing great, Best Dirty Lemonade.
Okay, so we're back. Day 2 of Flower Expo. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I really enjoy the opportunities that we get to come to Massachusetts. And, you know, shout out to Mark Shepard at Nicole. He puts on great events. Shout out to the folks that put on the THC Open. Those have been really solid, great events. But for me and the Best Dirty Lemonade, our experience has been that this Flower Expo has been our best event to date. Yeah, we'll drop a bomb for that. So we have a friend of the brand, and really, you know, hopefully now a friend of the pod. We have Nicole from Cannabis Management. She is the COO, aka Nothing Happens Without Her Planning and Execution. Shout out to you, Nicole. How are you?
I appreciate you. I'm good. It's nice to see you guys here doing so well in Massachusetts. I'm so proud of you.
You know, elephant in the room, right? Like, you guys were our first boots on the ground. We were able to use House of Ambassadors many times. First Nican experience, our first Flower Expo experience. So thank you to you guys.
Yeah, we truly appreciate being able to represent a brand that, you know, has so much meaning behind it as well. You know, we really like working with brands that can make a difference, you know, in their story, but also, you know, in people's lives. So, you know, we truly appreciate and we're honored to be able to be the first boots on ground for you, to be able to represent your brand and to really bring it to life in Massachusetts. It is an honor to be able to work with brands like yours.
Thanks, Nicole. So listen, for people who may be in cannabis in Massachusetts, but also simultaneously under a rock, can you explain to them what House of Ambassadors is, what you guys stand for, what you do, and how they can contract your services?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually the COO to 2 companies. First, we'll talk about House of Ambassadors, which is a brand ambassador staffing agency. We provide, you know, staffing for those brands that aren't able to, you know, provide those services for themselves, whether they don't have the time or the bandwidth and or they just need a third-party service. We provide those versatile brand ambassadors that can provide that brand experience. We also do brand activations, consulting as well for brand strategy. So there's a wide variety that we can do with House of Ambassadors. On the other side, Cannabis Management is an event management and marketing agency serving the cannabis industry, B2B community, but we do events, you know, we can do any events outside the cannabis industry as well. What we focus on for, you know, Cannabis Management is, you know, being able to build those connections, being able to provide that experience of that brand, but in a setting where you can really build face-to-face. Either on social media with our digital marketing or at one of our events. Speaking of which, we have an upcoming event June 24th. It's called High on the Green in Charlton, Massachusetts. We are offering it's a golf tournament. So for 9 to 3, it'll be a strategic pairing golf tournament where when you register, you have to say which company or what's your intent of networking, and what's your, you know, preferred, you know, foursome that you'd like to have. And we're going to pair you up. And then we also have a 3 to 6 dinner and networking that, you know, we'll provide everyone to be able to experience together, also consumption friendly.
That's amazing. You know, you guys have been doing those types of events for a while now. I know you guys host an amazing brunch out in Vegas for MJ Biz. You know, we were lucky enough to participate with that twice. And you also do the same thing here for NECAN. So I love that you're now adding a third signature Cannabis Management event to your wheelhouse. So I'm excited to see how this year's golf tournament goes over there.
We're really excited. You know?
And so for people who want to participate in the golf tournament, how do they reach out to you guys?
Head over to our website, cannamanagement.com. That's CANNAMGT.com. All the events, all the information is on our website under events.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about Nicole as a person. How are you today?
I'm great. It's nice to see everybody. I haven't been to an event in a little bit, so, since NECAM. So it has been really wonderful to be able to see the community and to, be able to flourish those connections that, you have. I haven't seen you in a while. I think we just bumped into each other quickly at NECAM. So, this industry is all about, everybody's got to eat. We all got to work together and collaborate together, but also just nourishing those really, truly real connections, because it is about being authentic and working with good people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. So what's your canna story? How did you get to cannabis?
So I originally, I was in the military, and I was...
Thank you for your service. That was actually weird, right? Now that I'm saying you were in the military and I'm dropping bombs.
It was kind of weird to say, right?
I'm so sorry.
And so I actually didn't consume any cannabis until I got out in 2016.
So you're like a canna baby.
I'm a canna baby, yeah. But I actually started having some neurological symptoms and a lot of widespread pain from fibromyalgia, connected to my service. And so my ex-husband had found some research that, he said, I think this will really help you. He's also a veteran. So, it wasn't something that we had in our home. It wasn't something that we even had a conversation about. We were both never used it due to, having that military service since we were young. And so for me, I started using it, realizing it really helped with my pain. But fast forward to 2020, I actually... started coming down with more severe symptoms, neurological symptoms. In 2020, I lost the ability to walk, and I lost the ability to talk. I talked like I had a stroke, and I had to walk with a cane. And so it took me, early on, we realized that cannabis, because I had a migraine, and so I just needed a little bit of relief. And so we realized that cannabis actually brought my speech back. I was able to talk a full sentence after I smoked a little bit. And that was the first time that I introduced it to my mom as well, that I was a user, and my kids, my mom was like, what did you do? I'm like, I just smoked a little bit in your bathroom when I went up there. And she's like, oh my God, don't stop.
Well, hold on. Yeah. You said you smoked a little bit in your bathroom when you went up there. So you went up to your mother's bathroom and you hotboxed the bathroom. Okay, good thing you were an adult at this point.
Listen, I was, I'm an adult. My kids were with me. I needed 24-hour care. And I also wanted my children to be with me. So my mom took that role of being my caregiver until I got well enough to be able to make the trip home, which was only 25 minutes, but I was so neurologically sick.
Shout out to Mom. Wow.
Yeah,
now, was it her weed?
No, it was mine. It was just like my little pen. And so I was such a new user. Like, it has taken me a long time to be able to, it has taken me a long time to be able to fine tune what really works for me. My children know it as mommy's medicine. I still do. It's called functional neurological disorder. So there's some issue between the way my brain sends and receives messages. Sometimes it gets stuck in fight or flight. I'll lose the ability to walk, but it's never as severe, because I started, in 2023, 2022, I started using it daily. I had, and I got a divorce, and I realized, hey, this is extra stressful. I'm just going to keep it in my system.
You got a divorce, or you got into morse?
I got a divorce. And
sorry to hear that.
No, you're fine. Can be a blessing. And so I was like, I'm dealing with extra stressors. I know cannabis helps, so I'm just going to keep it in my system daily. Up until that point, I was only having weeks or months at a time where I was healthy, and then I would be bedridden for weeks or months. And so I started using it every day, and it really changed my life. Like I said, my children know it as mommy's medicine. They understand. There's sometimes I'm like, I got to go take some medicine because, I'm neurologically not feeling up to par. Most people, when they speak to me, they said, I'd never know that that's something you deal with. And it really is the power of, plant medicine. It really, it changed my life. It gave me my life back, if you will.
I love that for you. Like, this is amazing. Like, you are one of the stories that we really talk about as we travel the country. So I'm now the, what's the title? Executive Director of Policy for Peachtree Normal.
Yes.
So it's just some advocacy organization that we really trying to normalize the use of cannabis.
Absolutely.
And I think that when people hear your story and how you've been able to use cannabis as medicine, and you're not just out here trying to get high, and how it's giving you the quality of life back.
Yeah.
Come on, like, you are like the poster child for why we need cannabis in this part of the country.
I appreciate that very much. I don't usually speak too much about my story. I usually, for me, I'm all business, but I forget that authentic story is part of my, myself, and why I believe so wholeheartedly about this industry and what we're doing together.
Because I'm sure there are things that you could be doing with your life career-wise with a lot less stress and probably a lot more money, right?
Yeah.
But, here we are choosing to be on the forefront of this brand new industry and still, take these challenges, because regulations change all the time.
Absolutely.
And marketing rules change all the time.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure, you guys feel that a lot more than most, because you represent multiple brands and you're their face in the market.
Yes.
So, yeah, wow.
Yeah, I mean, in this, that's when it really is crucial to work with good people. Work with everybody who has that passion inside of them, because, that is we provide brand ambassadors, staffing through House of Ambassadors. And I will say, if you're coming to us and you want to represent a brand and you want to be on our team, I am looking at your resume, I'm looking at your experience, but I am looking at your passion, I'm looking at your energy, I'm looking at how you can create that brand experience, because authenticity is, it is literally, when you are authentic, you are able to provide so much more to the community than just business, than just selling a product. Why your product over another one, and what story are you bringing, which brings it back to your story.
Absolutely.
People might buy Best Dirty Lemonade, for the story itself, because they believe in the brand. We all need something to believe in. We all need something to believe in, and we all need something to be passionate for, and we get to choose that. We're all the main character in our own stories.
Wow. So I want to call her your partner. I don't know the real term to your business relationship, but we'll just call her your partner. So your partner is Angela, right?
Angela's the owner and founder. I'm just the CEO.
Okay. Now, let's not say just.
I appreciate that.
But how did you and Angela actually meet and start working together?
Yeah, we actually live in the same town. Our kids go to the same school. And I had seen that she had attended a town meeting when she was getting her licenses to open a dispensary. And so I knew she was working in the cannabis industry. At the time, I was helping a veteran nonprofit get off the ground. I'm one of the founding members of Hellfish Haven, which is a veteran nonprofit in the Boston area. And so at the time, we were kind of looking for some funding, and we were looking, to get kind of connected to the cannabis industry. So I bumped into her, and I was like, hey, I know you're working within the cannabis industry. How do I get, involved? And so I started attending some of her early on canna management networking events. And then, a need opened up for an operational role, and I jumped in, and, the rest was kind of history. I've been with the company. I've been with Canna Management almost 3.5 years. And actually 3.5 years. And we launched House of Ambassadors 2 years ago. We just came up on our 2-year official anniversary. And, we've just been hitting the ground running, trying to provide, more value to the community, and be able to really get these brands out there.
I love that. So you and Angela never sit around and smoke together in your like strategy meetings?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's part of that. We both have neurological, which we resonate with each other. So we both have these stories, of cannabis really being a profound healer in our lives. And so absolutely, that's part of our strategy sessions is, how do you really, it helps our brain work better. And at the end of the day, we're all just working in an industry where, cannabis use is not a requirement, but it also, if it helps with your strategy, if it helps with the way your brain works, if it helps with your anxiety, if it just helps you to be able to be your person, then it's accepted,
I love that. You are walking, living testimony to dispel this lazy stoner or lazy cannabis user mentality, because people always want to assign those types of labels to people who consume cannabis. I don't think it's like that.
No.
Not for me, at least.
No, not for me either. I smoke and I go do the stepper for 30 minutes and leave. And then you smoke afterwards because I'm like, my brain's a little tired now, so I gotta get myself, to be able to work better. But cannabis is a crucial part of why I am who I am and why I'm able to do what I'm able to do and why I'm able to live my life the way I do. My quality of life is tied to, my individual person, the ability to take any, I feel like, oh no. I feel like any hardship you have, you should take that learning lesson, feel it, let it hurt for a little bit, then take that experience and allow it to teach you a lesson and allow it to propel you into more strength, happiness, and so I feel like we are all just able to be our own person, and able to use those hardships, but also to propel us into something better.
I love that. Nicole, so for people who may not know that you're behind these brands, are you able to tell like what brands you worked with so people can be like, wow, I know that. I should hire them to do our work as well?
Absolutely. First, you can go to either one of our websites, cannamanagement.com or House of Ambassadors, so you can see all the past brands that we have worked with. We have a number of them on our website, but House of Ambassadors, we've worked with the Best Dirty Lemonade, Ianthus representing MPX, and all of their House of brands, Ascend as well. We have worked with Squires. We currently run their pop-ups as well. Fernway, a bunch of different brands, like that. Thank you.
I think that's amazing, right? For anybody listening with a brand, if these large brands, i.e. the Fernways, the Spires of the world, are able to trust Canna Management with them, why aren't you? And if you're worried about the budget, listen, at the end of the day, you either spend the money or you don't. But you'll never know what could have happened if you don't.
Absolutely. And I will say our House of Ambassadors services for, the cost to run, 4 to 6 dual days, which is 2 pop-ups in one day. So for the amount of 12 pop-ups, you're probably spending the same amount that you would on one BA, but you're able to access the whole state.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, we worked with you guys. We had some issues really around production.
Yeah.
And we're having an amazing show. I did say that at the beginning. So, let's have another conversation to see about getting this back up and going.
Absolutely. And something that we've incorporated since, understanding, because when you run into any issue, as we talked about,
Oh no technical difficulties.
I think it's back. But as we talked about, use it, make sure that you can learn a lesson from it and get better. So something we do is we also check the inventory. We're partnered with Lit Alerts, so we are going to check your inventory at every dispensary, make sure it has plentiful enough. And we also help, if we see that there's some inventory low, that might be part of our brand strategy with you when we're doing the scheduling is, you see somewhere that needs a reorder, maybe you try to, book a pop-up with them so that we can, get a reorder with them. So that's something that, our team will take the head on as well to try to assist you with that inventory management as well with our brand ambassador services.
So because of you guys, right, on our hemp side, we now require stores to have 5 cases at a minimum before we'll go out and be able to pop up, right? And so this is Rod, who probably nobody on camera can see. But this is Rod, and he's our Northeast rep. And so we'll probably, have him work hand in hand with you to make sure we have inventory in places. Which is a pop-up summer schedule.
Absolutely.
It's summertime.
Absolutely. Let's chat after this for sure.
All right, cool. Well, Nicole, thanks for being a guest on the pod.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you for having me.
And if anybody wants to get with Nicole or Canna Management House of Ambassadors, she could give you the websites, the emails, but it's CANNAMGT.com. All right? Thanks, guys. And this is another episode of My Friends in Cannabis.